Brian McGregor's life changed forever the day he finished reading Lance Armstrong's book, It's Not About the Bike. Yes, of course he was inspired by the story of a cancer survivor going on to win 7 consecutive Tour de France titles. But for Brian, it went even further.
Because of that book, I did a self-examination and I found out that I had a lump. And that lump ended up being testicular cancer, the same type Lance had. I had surgery and it didn't get it all, that actually the cancer had spread. So subsequent chemotherapy to follow it up just coincided that particular day. Lance Armstrong was in Calgary for a fundraiser. And he came up to the hospital and my wife had been so nice, the hospital administration, that they arranged for Lance and I to meet to talk about our cancers. And he gave me a lot of inspiration then, and he gave me a goal, which I think a lot of cancer survivors need, is a goal to go towards.
Just 1 year later, Brian was riding his bike in Austin. He said it was a huge stepping stone for him in his battle against cancer.
One of these harebrained ideas that I said, well, why don't we ride to Texas next year? And talked it over with a couple of my friends, and they said, yeah, let's go for it. We didn't even know how far it was. We had to, after we decided we'd do it, we went and Google mapped it and found out how far it was, and yeah, that's a long ways.
It's now 4 years later, and Brian turned his crazy adventure into an annual trip. It was also the beginning of his nonprofit organization called Cancervive.
This year we're changing it up. The first 3 years we went to Austin, and this year we decided to go to Philadelphia.
Brian's team, which now consists of 30 riders, will attend the Philly Live Strong event. Each rider sponsors a cancer warrior to fly down to meet them for a fun-filled weekend.
The whole warrior thing extends from my cancer experience again. When I was sick and I was, lying listless on the couch, my wife every day thought, if only I could trade for a day, just take away his pain and give him a day off.
Heather Weber has been living with breast cancer for the last 7 years. This will be her second trip with the team as a Cancervive warrior.
Participating in the walk and then watching the ride with the rest of the group was so incredible for me. It popped me back up on my feet. It made me feel strong again. It made me think, okay, I'm in this fight. These guys can do this great big ride. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna fight a little bit harder here and take advantage of getting strong again.
This year, Heather has a new sponsor. Her longtime friend Charlene Owen jumped at the chance to ride to Philadelphia.
She said to me once, people live with heart disease and people live with things like diabetes, and I'm living with cancer.
Charlene says she can't wait for her weekend in Philadelphia, but expects the 9 days of cycling it'll take to get there to be quite challenging.
This is going to be a journey of a lifetime, and many people have said this, it will be incredibly difficult. But I think that people undergoing cancer treatment, living with cancer, they have their own difficult journeys to withstand, and this will pale in comparison to that.
The riders are split into 6 groups of 5. Each group will ride for 6 hours and then take 24 hours off to rest before their next shift. Well, the riders are off, and 4,100 kilometers later, they'll cross the finish line. Close to 30 warriors will also be flying down to meet them, just in time to attend Lance Armstrong's Live Strong event. But that's not the only event in Philadelphia the warriors are looking forward to.
We're going to Philadelphia, and that's the city that they filmed the movie Rocky. And so we're gonna try and arrange all the warriors to run up those stairs that Rocky did in his training, and we want John to do the filming and play that music behind us, and so that we can all get to the top of the stairs and do that sort of monumental hurrah for ourselves.